Lately, we've been seeing such a widespread increase in hatred and hostility in our society. And not that these things haven't always been there, it just seems that they're increasing more and more with each day. And I've been witnessing so much hostility and aggression, so much toxicity coming even from people who I would not expect it from, coming from people who are usually very well mannered, very kind and gentle, people who are generally very peaceful, even from people within the spiritual community. There's so many people who are meeting anger with anger, hatred with hatred, being hateful toward those who are hateful, meeting hostility with hostility, being very petty and contemptuous. I'm seeing friendships torn apart by misunderstanding, people becoming more and more divided, creating all sorts of unnecessary conflict. And it just keeps escalating and escalating. And it seems so easy to just get swept up in that, to get swept up in all the madness, especially when more and more people around you are expressing this kind of hatred and hostility. It's very easy to just go along with the herd. And it's a very sad thing, because if you're against hatred, if you're against violence, if you're against hostility, and yet you're engaging in those very things, you become the very thing that you're against. And you're just creating more of that in the world. This is a very challenging time, but the challenge that we're facing is not to get swept up in all the madness. The challenge is how to respond with a very different kind of energy. How to approach this from a place of calm and clarity, from a place of compassion and understanding. To recognize that we're all at this time, regardless of one's political affiliation, ideology, ethnicity, religion, and so on, people everywhere from all walks of life are experiencing so much anxiety and agitation at this time. And everybody is taking it out on one another, which just makes matters worse. There's so much division, so much unnecessary conflict. And you may be feeling anxious and agitated, which is completely understandable, but it's all too easy to be self-absorbed, to be so absorbed in our own suffering that we lose sight of the fact that everyone is suffering in their own way. And the people that you're angry with, the people that you're agitated with, they're also anxious and angry and agitated. And that we're all human, and that we all experience these things. And that the way to resolve all of this is not to fight with one another. We're just reacting to other people's anger and agitation with our own anger and agitation. And when we do that, it just causes it to escalate, to become bigger and bigger, much more destructive. It's this back and forth building upon itself, your anger building upon their anger, and their anger building upon your anger, your hatred and their hatred feeding off one another, growing and festering and exploding in rage and violence, and the world would be better off without it. The question that I'm always asking myself is, what kind of world do I want to live in, and what am I doing to contribute to that vision? What am I putting out into the world? What am I creating more of? What am I feeding? Am I creating more hostility? Am I creating more agitation? Am I creating more conflict? Or am I adding more clarity, more understanding, more compassion, more harmony? Because a lot of people, I hear them say that they want there to be peace, they want there to be unity, harmony, they want there to be more kindness and compassion and all this sort of thing. But by their very own words and actions, they're creating more of what they don't want. They're creating more division and conflict. So we have to be very watchful of our own words and behavior, to be watchful of our own thoughts, to be more watchful of the kind of energy that we're putting out into the world. We have to ask ourselves what kind of world we're contributing to. Are my words and actions helping to create the kind of loving world that I envision, or am I actually contributing to the very opposite of that vision?
If you find value in this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.